everybody. Thank you for joining us today. If today is your first time, please do me a favor and make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and please leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, and help us to share our video. You know why I tell you to share our video? Because recently I just found out that YouTube doesn't share our videos, they don't send notifications anymore because we're in the class of rebel channels. So we give them a lot of headache. They don't like us. They don't hide it. And so we too, we have resorted to self-help. So when we tell you to help us to share our videos and our our broadcast, it's because we can only do it by ourselves. If you don't share it, there's no way people will know. So please do me a favor and make sure that you share our videos. You guys know that recently, from how many years now, we've been so many of us, and when I say so many of us, everybody who is involved in the freedom fight, activists, people who are on the streets, people who go to the barricades, people who write with the pen, people who do broadcasts, everybody, people who are agitating, all forms of activity that is going on to ensure social justice in Nigeria. These people have come under heavy attack from the government. And this we have seen through people being thrown into prison, people being confronted with brutal force from the government agencies, security forces during protests, people being killed even. And this is all happening just because people are asking the government to do what they are supposed to do in Nigeria. What people don't get to see is what happens after this protest. A lot of us are online, we write, we talk. Talk is cheap, really. And these days, text is even cheaper. So we get online, we get on social media, and we say, oh my God, if they leave us, we will tear these people. We'll finish them. Do they know who we are? We will, if do you know, we sue all of, we go and buy, spend money and buy emojis, buy face of lion and tiger combined, say we are going to finish Nigerian government. But when it is time for you to go to protest, we no go see you. And what people don't realize that those people who go and protest, what happens after they have gone there to protest on our behalf, people don't care to know, people don't know. So today, I brought two people who help me talk about this and open our eyes, take us into the life of an activist, the life of those who go to confront the barricades on our behalf. What happens before they get to the barricades? What happens when they are there, live action? And then what they go through after, which a lot of us don't know about. And through their stories, through our discussions today, I'm hoping you will learn a lot about what goes on behind the scenes, and you get to understand the amount of support that these people need from us. Today I'm going to be focusing on the Kogi two of our comrades who are right now languishing in a very horrible prison in Kogi State, courtesy of Governor Bello of Kogi State and his deputy. I have two people who are close to action. It's not just that they were told. They know what is going on. They've experienced it firsthand, and they're going to help us today to talk about these things. I have in the studio via Zoom two of my brothers, my comrades, people who, if you are into activism, you know them. I'm talking about Mr. Adeyemi and Mr. Ade. When I say Adeyemi, okay, you help me to say it correctly. I know him as Femi and Juwon, but you guys who this is Comrade Femi and Comrade Juwon, that's what I know them as. You know, in the movement, we don't have time for protocols. But for the sake of being civil and behaving like normal people, I'm going to ask them to please introduce themselves to us, starting from you, Femi.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Comrade Chidi. And I will try as much as possible not to, pronounce your surname so that I will not pay you back in your own coin. Because I think I can still do that. All right, let me leave that. So, good evening, Nigerians, Nigeria in Nigeria and those in diaspora. My name is Femi Adeyeye. It sounds very funny that even that Adeyeye, it's not a good time to bear that Adeyeye name, owing to the fact that there is an Adeyeye messing up big time. You know him already, but I don't think that's the discussion for today, the honey of Ife. It's not a good time to answer that name. Anyways, I'm the publicity secretary of the African Action Congress, AAC. Let's leave it at that for now.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Okay, my name is Sonyaolu Juwon. And really, it's not just about not being a good time to be an idea, is that it's not even a good time to be a Nigerian, actually. So Dr. Chidi, thanks for having me. Yes.
All right, gentlemen. What does it feel like being in the front line, being right there at the barricades? I want you guys to tell me your experiences. Just focus on one or two outings that you guys have been part of and the experience you had at the hands of whoever, police, the people that were sent by the government, whoever, counter, terror, count, let me call them terrorists. So just go ahead, any of you.
Yeah, who want to go first?
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so apparently I'll be going first.
Yeah.
You see, being an activist in Nigeria, first let me say that contrary to some views that had been held by a number of persons, Nigerians particularly, there are people who really feel that it is the duty of some people to be activists. And I think we need to make this very clear. It is nobody's job to be an activist. Activism is, generally speaking, the responsibility of everyone who still, number one, has a conscience of good, and of someone who still sees themselves as a citizen deserving of rights. So when you see yourself as a citizen deserving of rights, then you should be an activist. So the problem we have in Nigeria is that we have so many people, over 200 million Nigerians, 200 million Nigerian people who do not consider themselves citizens. And it's not, I think it's not surprising, given the fact that Nigeria for over 60 years had been run like a slave camp, like one of the worst Russian prisons you like to call Gulag. So it's not really easy for you to consider yourself as, but for those of us who do not only have the conscience of good, but still maintain the courage to still be citizens in an atmosphere of hostility and gross and violent disrespect for rights and citizenship. It has not really been a good experience. Take for instance, if 100 years from now, or maybe we just say maybe 20 years or 30 years from now, if we're lucky enough and we're able to have a successful struggle to push at least Nigeria forward in the line of relative development, I'm very sure that the generation of when they read the news of what is happening, they will never believe that there could be a period where journalists will cover protests as though they were covering a war zone.
Also,
Because what do you see on protest ground? Journalists, I can remember there was the last protest we had here in Abuja, when parents and relatives of and friends of kidnapped Afaka 39, people who are kidnapped in Kaduna State. When we joined them in protest, I think it was last week. I looked around. The first question I asked was that, oh wow, I can't see yet the journalist who is wearing the usual bulletproof. It was everywhere was already taken over by the police for that Unity Fountain. But before I could confirm my statement, voila, we saw journalists, full regalia, bulletproof at Unity Fountain. And I told Femi, you see that we need to snap this. This is part of the history we need to keep. And when you look at the experience in February 13th of this year, recently when we were recently released from 11 days detention that we had between January 1, the New Year protest, and subsequent detention through 11 days. We came back to hold another protest that was timed Occupy Lekki against attempts to reopen the Lekki toll gate. In the situation where justice had not been served to the hundreds of people that were killed on Black Tuesday. We also what happened by the time we got to the venue of the protest. It is the attention that we were caught not by the attention of heavily armed men, but also journalists who are also in regalia, bulletproofs.
Heavily protected.
Yes, heavily protected in bulletproof vests. You would think that they were going to cover a war in Syria or Iraq. Nobody would ever believe that there was a time that we ever lived in the period where journalists would dress as though they were going to cover a war situation. So really, some of what I'm saying here is that the experience of activists is probably not different from the experience of a soldier who is going to a war and is uncertain if he's going to return alive. So, and the reason this is so is because the ruling class, the devious ruling class we battle in Nigeria, wants to rule over a population of conquered people. That's exactly where they are driving at. They want to rule over a population of conquered people. But we have duty as citizens not to submit our humanity and citizenship to cowards who have only been given the privilege of holding in trust state property, but must be diligent enough and courageous to ensure we do not capitulate to the whims and caprices of deliberate intimidation. So I think that's what I would like to say for now.
Okay, thank you, Juwan. So, Femi, I want you to pick particular instances of protests that you were involved with and how the government behaved towards you, what you observed, and what was the experience like?
All right. Thank you very much. I think it's an interesting one because I and Comrade Juwan, we've been part of several protests together. We've been beaten together, tortured together, harassed together. So there is no particular example I'll be giving that you will definitely see him nodding at every point of those examples. He has done so well to explain the situation as we have it right here in Nigeria when it comes to challenging authorities, challenging people who think they have power. Actually, these are powerless persons, but since we stay in a society where the ruling idea is the idea of the ruling class, then actually they feel they have power. So he has mentioned some things about state actors, but I think there is also an aspect of harassment that comes from non-state actors, and I'll be giving a specific example. There was a time, it's this example just came to my mind right now while I was talking. There was a time I and Comrade Juron, we were kidnapped. That was at Galaxy Television. So right in front of right in front of the TV premises, it was something else that day. It happened to be a protest against Occupy. It was an Occupy Lagos State House of Assembly. They were trying to celebrate Lagos at 50. So it was part of the program of events that federal legislators, state legislators will be having a special plenary. So we wanted to use that particular day to protest the end of persons in Lagos, the Otodugbame issue, and all of that. Lagos, there are so many issues. Lagos is just an epicenter of all of these issues. So we arranged ourselves, we mobilized students and all of that. So the guys who were working with the governor, the contractors, they joined us. These are students also like us. So we thought these were our comrades coming. We've addressed the press, we've done almost everything. So when we saw them, we were even hailing them. Comrade, we never knew they were on another mission. In fact, they came prepared. These guys came more prepared than we We came with, I think, 2 buses. These guys came with 3. No, we came with one bus. These guys came with 3 buses, and they were as in ready. So what they did at that day was that they picked both of us. That was the order was to actually pick us up and deal with us because we have, or let me say, Aluta has a way of saving you in situations like this. So the leader had to just, he told us, he said, see, Femi, the directive what we were told to do was to make sure that we give you an everlasting mark. We take you guys away from the whole scene. That the complaints they've been getting from the Lagos State government, who is their major sponsor, that was somebody at that time, the governor, is that these guys are allowing leftists to thrive in the states. And when by leftists they mean radical activists and all of that. So they are allowing you. We've been allowing you guys to thrive, I think. And one thing happened that day. There was a DSS officer who was following us. Right from, we ignorantly, or let me say, interestingly, we were even asking the man, so where's the next place? Where's the next media house from this place? He said, oh, hey, will you go to Daily Trust? He was even advising us on the next. But immediately he said it, I looked at him and I said, I sensed when you came down from that van, and I know you are an agent, but that's not an issue. I told him, and he was like, I don't understand that. So at the end of the day, when we were taken from that point, I'm just giving you the specific example. There are several examples. We were picked from that point, and then we were taken to that was ShopRite close to the Lagos State House. And then I saw the DSS officer with a gun. He was not carrying a gun at that time. I was just laughing. I told you. So what we have actually in Nigeria today is a mishmash or a combination of harassment from both state actors and non-state actors. And most times, to be very frank with you here, I'm a realist. The most painful comes from the non-state actors. For example, if we are going to a protest, I know so well that police officers will be there, who are operators of the states, the DSS, and we don't have any issue with them. I don't even argue with police officers. I understand that is how the state has been structured, that there are persons who have been, Nigeria just happened.
It's okay.
Oh, we said it at the same time.
All right.
Oh my God.
All right. So we just have, that's a non-state actor actually. So as I was just saying, so to wrap that, the light will be up anytime soon, is that at every point in time where you have the non-state actors who are just products of the machination of the states, it becomes very painful. Look at what we go through, even on social media. Whenever you speak against a particular thing, they would come up with an issue that you are being sponsored by PDP. There was a time I and Comrade Juwon, that was when we were leading a student movement, Alliance of Nigerian Students Against Neoliberal Attacks. Whenever we protest against the PDP governor, the next thing you hear is that we are being sponsored by APC. If you protest against APC, and these are students, these are members of the public. You hear when you protest against an APC government, the PDP people will tell you, and at the point where we now brought both of them together and say APC, you start hearing things like, okay, you are coming for some selfish interest. I thought they would even say it's Boko Haram. If it were a time like this, it would be wrong to say Boko Haram is sponsoring us, because as we speak right now, Boko Haram is now another government in Nigeria. As I speak to you, Boko Haram is taking taxes from residents of Niger, Yobe, Borno. It's already a government on its own. But to narrow down to the discussion is to make everyone understand, like Joan said, that activism is no one's profession. It is not something you're not anointed to be an activist. It is what everybody who has a conscience and who is ready, to portray that conscience for the good of the society. It is what everybody must do. And that is why Nigerians should stop contracting these things to some persons. You see things on social media, when there's an issue, they tag Dr. Chidi, they tag Dr. Chidi, have you seen this? Have you seen this? So it's not like, are you contracting this thing to me?
You understand? Do you know? Sorry to cut you short. It's amazing. People who will come and criticize me for the way they think I handled some matter. They've criticized me, they come lash me, insult me all they want. When another issue breaks out, the same people, because my number is open, the same people come and text me and tell me that, Brachidi, talk about, they don't even, I said, Brachidi, talk about this. You, that time you're using to talk to me, the same social media, why are you not, you didn't post it on your page, you didn't do it on Twitter. You want me to write it with my own name, but your own, you preserve it.
Yeah, but comrade, we must, I understand what you're saying, and that's what I'm saying also. But we must understand why these persons are, why the masses are what they are at this particular time.
Why?
You cannot over time, if you stay in a dark room over time, you will begin to adapt. There's this thing in science where you see
biological. Accommodation of the high.
Accommodation. It begins to accommodate. You begin to see even in darkness. So over time, when Nigerians have been cheated, disgraced, humiliated, molested, harassed. So it gets to a point when you internalize that oppression. And so when they see some of us who come up to speak, we look like aliens. Are these people okay? So they see us as contractors. That okay,
exactly.
we are fine. Yeah.
You don't have any other job. You don't have any other job.
Yeah, you don't have any other job. Especially when you're putting on an orange beret.
Exactly. You remember an incident in Oyo State when we went to confront Ajimobi.
Yeah.
When after we fought we ended the protest, some guys then came outside to come and tell us that comrades, I'm sure you guys will need money for transport, and we are going to get like 70,000 naira. I was now like, what the hell? Did you contract me to come here? So even
they said we tried. While we were protesting, they were negotiating with the governor, and they collected 500,000 naira.
You see,
from a governor we protested against.
That's another thing. You see, while you people were there, other people, they want to exploit what you're. That's another thing we'll talk about. When we did NSAS here in Toronto, we were busy. We did placards, we did all kinds of things preparing for NSAS. While we were preparing, other people were busy inviting TV stations, telling them they were the ones, they will be there. So when we came out, while we were busy trying to organize and mobilize, TV stations were interviewing these people. Next time, by the evening news, we saw them all over the TV, saying they were the ones that did this. So for them, it was business, and then they were using it for their NGO to collect money. But you know what? We have to do what we have to do. Now let me go a little bit further. I truly wanted to know, Juwon, you have been involved in so many arrests, but particularly in recent times, I wanted to pick on two of them. You were with Omoyele Sowore when he was arrested during the December 31st to January December 31st, 2020 to January 2021. What was the experience like?
Wow, it was really terrible. Very, very terrible. You can imagine we came out to protest around close to 12 midnight. We've been protesting, and I think it was just around to 1, or we're rounding up. No, I think it wasn't even up to 1, actually. It was a little after 12.
Yeah.
Then we were rounding up at Goody Junction. Then suddenly, I saw trucks of policemen just charging towards us. I was now like, sincerely, I have a very bad habit, or I don't know if it's, or let me, I have an habit. I don't know if it's bad or good. It depends on how we choose to say. When I see policemen coming, I don't run because really, I'm not a criminal. So as dangerous as it seems, you know, I I still choose to stand by my humanity and not run. Like you can, there are people who think it's not the best method. That's why I describe it as relative. And I saw them; they were charging in about 4 trucks, armed to the teeth. And the moment they came there, I was like, "What's happening?" Before we could say Jack Robinson, I, I didn't know several punches here and there. The butt of guns were landing on my head and on different. It was serious, and then eventually myself and Adenola Michael, and I think some two other persons too were immediately hauled into the back of a truck. And the next thing they did to me particularly was that they chained my right hand, they chained my right hand to the vehicle. And so it was in the midst of that torture, Shure was particularly already living because the best role he played there was just to video the event. So he was living already when he caught the fact that we're being brutalized. Then he stepped out of his vehicle. He stepped out of his vehicle to challenge the officers who were acting beastly. I think that's the best way I could describe it. They were acting beastly. It was as though we were confronting pack of wolves of the hungry types, actually. So before you could know it, I think it was as though they had special orders and just came at him with launching several blows on the face. Yeah, and then he was thrown into the in the back of the vehicle. And I repeat again, it was clear that they had special orders to do what they did. So while we were in the vehicle, I was trying to challenge them that what the hell, that at least it is still a country that should run by law. But fortunately, because even they knew that what they were doing made no sense, that they were practically behaving like animals. So they staged the drama. And what was that drama? We had someone just suddenly came out of nowhere and was like saying that, hey, police, oh, my shop is currently being robbed. My shop has been robbed. This has happened. So you could sense that these people are this mere drama in order to justify the madness they had come to perpetrate. And while in the process of challenging them, the next thing they did to me was another one rushed at me with several blows, and there was another one who eventually pressed me down. I was spraying pepper spray directly at my face. And so no matter how I tried to turn my face, the person was following my face. Trust me, if it was the case that I was an asthmatic patient, people by now would be writing my obituary. Because even despite not being an asthmatic patient, after that torture of constantly spraying tear gas at your face while you are held down, I think it took place for about 10 minutes. If not for Shure that kept on talking to me, I was almost at the stage of passing out. Because he kept talking to me, Joe, are you okay? So, there's a way conversation still keeps you in line with reality. I think that was the role Shure played for me that day. And from the point we were arrested, down to Abattoir police station where we were moved to, I could not open my eyes. In fact, practically speaking, I was temporarily blind because I could not see. It was Michael Adenola who was holding me by the hand, moving me everywhere. So it was as though I temporarily lost my sight. I couldn't open my eyes. It was that bad. So, and the moment we got there, and for the benefit of persons who don't know about your police station, I think they named this. I think it was named after its character. There's a place in Lagos that used to call. In fact, everywhere that is called Abattoir, not just Lagos. It's places where they butcher animals, and that's exactly what they do at Abattoir. Abattoir police station is a torture center. It's a torture center, and according to even the testimonies that we got from the inmates in Abattoir told us that before enters, Abattoir houses over 700 inmates. A larger percentage of them are under illegal detention. A larger percentage of them are illegally detained, and every day people die at the Abattoir detention center. And it is not about just dying from diseases. It is that the SARS officers could call someone, bring out someone randomly, ask him to face back and execute him with that manner of impunity. There are persons who are particularly, they will bring them out and they will torture them. In fact, Abattoir torture was so legendary that when we got to Kuje prison, and we told them that we are coming from Abattoir police station, the nurse who attended to our wounds, or who was supposed to, because she ended up not doing anything anyway, who was supposed to tend to our injuries, just looked at, wow, you guys are coming from Abattoir and you can still walk. Because you could see it you could see it from my expression, and she could not only hide it in her expression. She had to talk about it. In disbelief that we were brought from Abattoir detention center, and we were still talking. We were still working. People, according to our people who were brought to Abattoir, are almost half dead. In such that in some cases they always have to reject them. So that is the character of the Abattoir detention center. But when we got there, we were attacked again by these same police officers before we were eventually dragged into the cell. But something quite interesting happened when we entered the cell, and it is that there are a lot of prisoners there who identified Shure, and they were so happy, as though they had a God who walked into their midst freely and cheaply without collecting tickets. So immediately they started running. The prisoners started running after scatter. They went to go get what do you call it? They went to go get mats, duvet. What do you call this thing?
Blanket.
Blanket, thank you. Went to go get mats, blankets, and ensure that at least we had relative comfort. So if if there was anything that made what we passed through that night easier, it is the fact that when you look into the eyes of even young people who have been condemned by the system by unjust detention, when you look them and they quite identify with the struggles we're fighting, you get encouraged that wow. So really, we are really making an impact. And the fact that they had to testify that it was ENSA that decongested that prison from over 700 illegally detained inmates to, because we met about 74.
It was the NSAS protest.
Yes, we met about 74 inmates.
So it was the
We met about
NSAS
just
protest.
74.
The NSAS protest was what led to the prison being decongested.
Exactly. It was the aftermath of
Of the
ENSA.
NSAS. Thank you so much, Juwon.
Yes.
I'm going to come back to you because I know we won't even have 2 hours to explain. That's why this is just one experience. So when people hear that you were involved, when Femi says you people have been involved in several protests, I want people to see, and after that one you see on the TV, you just see people carrying placard. When they are arrested, this is the story you don't hear. You don't hear these stories. This is just one protest. And this is like 10, 15 of them over and over and over again. So when you are there thinking that it's some people's job, it's their contract, this is what they've been called to go there and be slaughtered, sacrificial lamb. I want you to, even though they have made themselves this sacrificial lamb, I need you to really, you that is listening to us, I need you to have compassion and understand what it takes to be an activist inside our country, Nigeria. Femi, let me just ask you, because a lot of people seem to blame Shore, and today we were going to focus on 2 of our comrades who are in Kogi prison, but I'm just laying a foundation for talking about them because people don't understand. People just think, oh, they just went there out on the streets and something happened to them. And a lot of people keep saying, Shore, why don't you just keep quiet? Why do you keep doing what you're doing? What are the different ways that activists show their grievances? What I'm trying to say is point out for us, Femi, different ways by which people protest. You know, when they are not just carrying cards, what are other things that are universally accepted as ways of protesting against the government of the day, showing your grievance against the government of the day?
All right, thank you very much. It is not a straightforward answer actually, because nobody, including let me start with the oppressor. The oppressor cannot dictate how the oppressed will free themselves. You understand? So there is no particular way out of, or there's no particular way to express your displeasure, because this is one thing people should understand about protest. Protest actually is not you marching on the street and all of that. Protest is expressing, it's freedom of expression. You're expressing your disagreement with government. And that was why it was just because of how close knitted that meeting I had in Femi Adesina, and where you invited us.
That meeting was it was highly. I expressed it there. I was trying to be as respectful as possible to the person who invited me. That it wasn't it was my program. So let's just leave that meeting aside.
So the part where you said this government respects people who disagree and all of that, I wanted to just quickly chip in that of Kogi too, that we still have some persons who are, today is going to make it the 37th day, if I'm not mistaken.
37th day in detention.
Yes, about prison. Larry and Victor.
Yes, without trial.
Yes, after being dragged on the streets, beaten and all of that. But let me go back to your question, which is that what are the ways? You understand? Civil disobedience comes in different ways. There's a sit-at-home protest. There's this social media part of it, where people tweet, express their displeasure and all of that. But our current reality, takes us into a clear understanding that we live in a place where the rule of law is not respected. And let me explain this. If an average US citizen picks up a placard today, just one person picks up a placard and is just marching on the streets, that person will get both media attention and the attention of the government. Just one, in fact, let the person write on that placard, permit this French, my French, fuck Biden or anything. That person is going to get, because already the states, however repressive and all of that they have, because there are levels to repression. Even in the US, there is repression, but there are levels to all of this.
Sure.
The state recognizes the fact that you are a citizen. But what we have in Nigeria is far, far, far different from what. Here is a jungle. And in a jungle, it's the truth. It's the truth. But though I said something recently when someone said it's a zoo. That's why I disagree with even in call it a zoo. No, it's not a zoo.
No, I don't agree to that it's a zoo because a zoo is more.
Because in a zoo, there is order. You have where lion is. You have where elephant is. You understand? There is order. But what we have today is total breakdown of law and order to the point that you must understand that there are different. Our methods here must be very radical. We are dealing with a feudalistic, government, a government that does not respect your rights, a government that does not see you as a citizen. It's a feudal lord to peasant kind of arrangement. So they do not see you. That the fact that you're even coming out to say you have rights, it sounds very strange to them that a Juma will come out to say education must be free. Why should education be free? It sounds very alien. Why should education be free? You talk about water, that at this age and time, we are still protesting about lights. We are protesting about water in the 21st century. These are, in fact, it's a thing of shame. But we must understand that our approach here must be radical. And that was, and I would end with this particular one. I was part of the advocacy or part of the movement called Radical Agenda Movement in the NBA. That when Barrister Adeshino Ogulano was running to be the NBA president. And in one of his interviews, there's this thing about lawyers and their conservative approach to things. Instead of going to protest, they go to courts, they write petitions, my lord, everything. Even though the courts are under lock and key now for 5 weeks. And the government is not even, they are not moved because they do not even want the court open in the first place. It's not as if they were delivering justice.
No.
It's not as if those courts were delivering justice, were dispensing justice in the first place. Do you get it? So he was now saying something in that interview. He said it will be wrong in a jungle if you find a lawyer in a jungle. The kind of person, it sounds very strange. If you find a lawyer who is putting on suit and tie in a jungle, it sounds very strange. But if you find an hunter, if you find an hunter in a jungle, that's a correct,
that's what you expect to see in a jungle.
That's what you expect in a jungle. So Nigerians, we have it today. Don't let us deceive ourselves. And it is getting clearer to people. Already before, when we talk about revolution now, they said, no revolution now, even from our activists, from our people in the left. No, it's too ambiguous. It's too radical. That word is too. But now everybody is coming into that realization and into that agreement that we've gotten to that point that the only way out is to have a radical approach to all of these problems. How do you face a government that has a terrorist sympathizer, as a minister? And you are speaking English language. How do you understand? These are serious issues. How do you talk to a government that goes ahead to negotiate with bandits, give them money, talk to them like brothers and, brothers? How do you discuss? How do you go ahead and think what you're going to have from such a government would be justice?
Not possible.
It's not possible. We should come to that realization. It's not possible at all. Okay. It is not possible. So Nigerians must understand that we must have a radical approach out of the people who destroyed this country are doing it with all gruesomeness. They are not joking. What they are going to do tomorrow, they've planned it already. Like we saw in the that was last month, that they said, what was it like? Yes, last month, where they said there will be zero remittance to the federal
Yes,
account.
from NNPC.
Zero remittance. What that is saying is that there is no money to pay salaries.
So
already
it should be ready.
Yes, medical interns. You know, this it's just very shameful that we've come to the lowest in the history of this country. Medical interns in this country, when I was, in my formative years, when I was thinking about going to the university and all of that, whenever we talk about medical students, we see them as people who have their lives already arranged,
Yes.
and without any prejudice to them. Whenever you talk about protest, medical students will tell you that, no, why should I protest? Even if I do not get, there's a job already waiting for me. Even if I do not get that job directly, I can write PLAB 1, PLAB 2, and the money I get through when I'm doing my housemanship and all of that, I will use it to fund all this examination. But let me tell you today that the federal government has taken away that housemanship salary or allowance. Taking it away. These medical interns protested that this money is too small, and they said, okay, it seems you are enjoying. Let's take it away. Let's take it away. It's part of your training. Do you understand? They said, now it's part of your training. And let me tell you, I have friends who are housemen and all of that. They are the ones who do the most jobs in teaching hospitals. Now we have them protesting at UCH 3 days ago. Medical interns were protesting. In this country now, we have magistrates protesting. No, these are people who fall in this middle class, posh, career-driven strata of the society. Some of us who studied
security, with job security.
There's job security for them. But today in Nigeria, a magistrate is being owed 21 months salary in Cross River State. Ben Ayade, 21 months. We have magistrates, people who will sit and people will say, my worship is now carrying placard. My Lord is now carrying placard to say, my Lord is about to die. My Lord is going to leave this tabernacle. Because when there is no money, my Lord will die of hunger in the tabernacle. My Lord will become the sacrifice, the born sacrifice. My Lord will have to use. It's just what it is.
My Lord has become an aluta. An aluta comrade.
My Lord has become an aluta warrior at this point. So it's for us to understand that we are at the lowest of the lowest of the lowest in history. And our way out is just through a revolution. And when people talk, I don't know, let's go into that because that's going to be another symposium. Maybe that's going to be.
Yeah. See, Juwon, back to you. So these are two brothers who are in Kogi. A lot of people don't know what their story is, and I want you to, because now that Femi talked a little bit about how he said that you don't tell citizens how they should convey their grievance. You don't tell them. You don't beat a child and you come and tell the child how to cry. That was a perfect analogy that Femi gave there. So, however we choose to confront a government that is already disobedient, already failed in its contract with the citizens, it is whatever they see, they take it like that. Now, tell us the story of our two comrades who are in Kogi prison right now. For those people who do not know their story, I would like you to just go ahead and tell us what is their situation, how it all started, and what they were subjected to. Go ahead, Comrade Juwon.
Oh, the story is a very, very pathetic story.
Yes.
And a further confirmation that Nigeria has completely descended into anarchy and total breakdown of law and order by persons who are charged with the responsibility of keeping civility and order. You know, and in one of the statements, they say that it is unimaginable that at this stage in the 21st century, we are protesting for light, we're protesting for water. But what is even worse is that in the 21st century, we are even protesting for our rights to protest. You know,
our rights to live their life. The
exactly.
protest was actually
Exactly. It's an unfortunate situation. We could laugh about it, but the reason we are laughing about it is that we don't want to cry because there is this Yoruba adage that I will transcribe into English that says that when matter don't pass no na dey cry.
No, first of all, speak it in Yoruba, then I like when I hear things in our speak it in Yoruba, then translate it in Igbo for me.
Is that okay? Okay, is that ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá ti ju ẹkún lọ, ẹ̀rín la máa fi rín. That is the matter wey be say e don pain you so tey na cry you suppose cry. You go just turn am to laugh that well, more or less like an expression of resignation to faith and hope.
Yes.
You know, so that is it's a pathetic situation we're laughing about. And it's a situation in which history many years to come would never believe. If not for the internet, you would really have to convince the next generation that we ever lived like this. So if you what happened to Larry and Victor are just two young men, vibrant and energetic. You know, both of them active organizers during the HENSAS protest. You know, when at Kogi, all they were doing was to face posters canvassing why Nigerian people must rise against Buhari's impunity and complete cluelessness, maladministration, corruption. The fact that Buhari has failed in all responsibility reposed on him, both as the CNC of the armed forces, he has failed. As Minister of Petroleum, he has failed. Even as an administrator, he has completely failed. These were the critical issues Larry and Victor were raising in Kogi State, in a state where the governor of the state, sorry, let me use the deputy this time, in a state where the deputy governor of the state, Edward Onoja, who coordinated the harassment and unjust detention, or let me say illegal detention of our comrades. This same Edward Onoja had lost confidence in the education system of the Kogi state, in which he has co-ruled with Yaya Bello for close to 6 years. He could not even send his own daughter to any institution in Kogi state. You understand? And the complete breakdown of education system were part of the issues Larry and Victor were raising in this state of Kogi. This is a state that the governor is owing workers backlog of salaries. This is a state that has not only pauperized the masses and workers, but also that it is owing them backlog of salaries up to about 20 months. Sometimes I wonder how these people go to work after being owed such number of salaries. And as Simon rightly put it, as the situation happening in Cross River State, I don't know if the people of Cross River State, I don't know how they get justice there in a situation where all the my lords, the magistrates, don't get paid. Then eventually, don't be surprised, you have just unctioned justice. Justice will be unctioned Justice will be for sale. So they
To
can
the
never be
highest
justice.
bidder. To the highest bidder.
Yes, exactly. There can never be justice in a place like Kosovo. And in Kogi State also, it's almost like that. Nobody gets paid. No worker gets paid. Everyone is poor and impoverished. Everyone is suffering.
They are paid in percentages.
They are paid in percentages. That's right. They are paid in percentages like what Aregbesola used to do. People, in Aregbesola and Osun State, people used to regard them as Baba Hafusa, meaning that the man that takes half salary. You understand? So those are the conditions that the Larry and Victor protested. But you know what happened? They were not only arrested by police. After they were arrested by police, tortured by police, the police then handed them over to thugs who was coordinated by one of his name is Bangu, right? One of Yaya Bello's essays, special advisors. You oversaw the beating, the public parade, and harassment of Nigerians who were legitimately protesting. You know, for good governance, they were tortured while being filmed. They filmed the action of the. You can see a government can never get courageous than that level of impunity. It was a dangerous courage that had been in a sane society. Everyone involved would not only be polishing their shoes in jail. Sorry, they will not be polishing their feet in jail by now. It is also that the DPO will be sacked. The commissioner for police would have questions to answer. Even the governor himself would not be spared.
Yes.
Even the governor would not be spared. But that was not all. As if that was not enough, Larry and Victor were condemned, were thrown in prison, in Kaba prison, without, at the period where the judicial workers were on strike, without a single court order. There was no court order. Emphasis, there was no court order that remanded Larry and Victor in prison. It was illegal detention. So how can we get lower than this situation? And today, was it today or yesterday, we recently learned of an information, that a certain bridge in London, in Kogi, has collapsed. Usually we grew up with the nursery rhyme that London Bridge is falling down. But this one, the one in Kogi completely collapsed. Kogi Bridge that was built with, about 26 million naira of taxpayers' money. 26 million naira. They built that bridge, a fake bridge. The bridge collapsed just like the education sector in Kogi. The bridge collapsed just like the welfare of workers in Kogi. The bridge collapsed just like all the infrastructures in Kogi, just like everything that has to do with the welfareism of the people. Collapsed. That is this.
There's something. Hold on. There is something I'm going to try to bring it up so that people will see, because first of all, people were wondering why was the protest. But if we can show you what is going on, I just happen to have this image that we are talking about, so people will understand. People will understand why there was reason for a protest. I mean, you can't even fault anybody right now in Nigeria who is protesting, but just in case some people have reason to say, hey, what is going on? Why was there reason for those guys to protest? This is the bridge that you are talking about. This is the bridge, okay? And right, this is the bridge, I guess. You can see it, right?
Yeah.
Kogi Bridge.
Yes.
This is 26 million.
Yeah, this is the one. Look at even the kind of reinforcement. There isn't block. There isn't ordinary block for bridge. Can you imagine? Look at the reinforcements they're using for bridge. This reinforcement, you don't even use it for for residential building. Eh? Can you imagine how this is how many, about 12, it's not even up to 12 mm, this is like 10 mm. This is nonsense. But anyways, that is what they are using there in Kogi. And I want to go ahead and I want to show people, who the people we're talking about. Of course, these are the two guys we're talking about, Larry and Victor. They're the ones that are in Kogi prison as we speak. We've talked a lot, and the reason why we're here is to try and raise money. uh, I opened a GoFundMe page, and through that GoFundMe, I'm hoping to reach out to a lot of our comrades who are doing the job of activism in Nigeria, knowing how difficult it is, and knowing that trying to give from my pocket is not a very easy task. Okay, it is limited and it is not sustainable, and the needs are overwhelming. So that's the reason why I, with my wife, we decided, you know what, let's just set up this GoFundMe, because we don't see anything out there taking care of activists. I'm hoping, I know, hopefully down the road there will be more structured approach to this. I know Take It Back movement has plans to have something that is more structured, and then it will be able to assist very well. But in the meantime, we set this up and we want people to go ahead and, donate to this cause so that we can reach out these families. As we just heard from Juwan, these guys are in a very deplorable state, very, very deplorable state in that prison where they are. And it was at the instance of Yaya Bello that this, if you see that video, I am not, if I show the video on my YouTube page, because this is streaming on YouTube, if I show the video, YouTube will slam it, because YouTube doesn't like such violence. And that this person I'm going to show now is comrade. Let me bring up his picture, so that this is I think this was Victor during the protesting or so. Joan, who is this person?
Yeah, this is Larry doing NSAS.
Okay, this is Larry doing NSAS, right?
Yes,
He's
yes.
right there in Abuja. So these are the people who fought. That when things like this happen, I used to wonder, so where are the young people? Where are the young people who were out there at the barricade with these people? This is the time when they need you most. Okay. And I get this is also him protesting.
Larry, yes.
Okay, this is
Larry.
Larry protesting. Okay. So I keep wondering, where are our people to come and defend these our guys who the government that is not doing what it's supposed to do is showing their power on these people, that they think they got it all figured out. They think they have this absolute power that nobody can challenge. They think they can do and undo. Even after they did this thing to these guys, they came out. They came out publicly to show people what they did. And these are the two monsters that we're talking about. This Yahya Bello and his deputy. That
Baby tyrants, as we call them. Baby tyrants. These are baby
yes,
tyrants.
these are the people that they can't even take care of their state, the education in their state, that they can't even have their children school in the same place. They are telling us we don't have any reason to protest. That place is not functioning well education wise. And I want to see if I can get that picture where those guys went through that torture, so people can reflect and remember what we're talking about. But anyways, it's a site that has really, really continues to annoy me every time I go back and I look at that video. I'm looking forward to the day we will remind Yahaya Bello, because this will not just go away. A day we will remind Yahaya Bello and his deputy. What's his name again? I keep forgetting his name. Onoja. The day we will play that video.
It actually shows weakness anyway, Dr. Chidi.
Huh?
I said it's actually a show of weakness when we see things like this happen.
Exactly.
It shows that, one, the government has lost popularity before the people. So when you've lost in debates, when you've lost in opinion, when you've lost in policy, you've lost in everything. So the next thing you have to use is brute force. So it's just it's an admittance. They've admitted that, yes, they failed. The Buhari government, the Yahya Bello government, it's an admittance that, yes, they failed. So the next thing is then you go out and then, but the history has taught us that anytime things like this happen, they are so close to their destruction. That's the word to use here.
And you know the funny thing? Okay, this is
there's a Saraki in the lorry.
This is the picture of Larry and Larry and Victor. Larry and Victor, and this was the tyrant who was masterminding the attack on them. He was like
that was the slave.
This is the one they used.
Exactly.
And he will open his mouth and say, "We will do this to you, and we will do this to you," because they were pasting this Buhari must go poster. And yet, this same Yahaya Bello, look at his campaign posters. Do you see the irony of the whole thing? You were beating people up. They didn't claim that they were trying to beat them up for posting Buhari must go. They said they were defacing the place. That was their crime. They were pasting posters unlawfully for them. And yet, this is Yahaya Bello's posters all over the place. How ironical. The same thing that you have people in prison for, you are doing it. And when you do it, so when they do it, it's okay. But when other people do it, they find a way to say that it's not okay. Anyway, today, I really want people to go and go to the GoFundMe and try to donate some money. I'm going to go there now and see how much we have gotten. I mean, it's been quite impressive. I've had people donate money, and the result is quite encouraging. I just want people to donate more money because there's a lot that goes into activism in Nigeria, especially when it comes to the legal side of things. People don't get to see it, but there's a legal team that keeps going to plead the cases of these comrades. Though a lot of times they do it pro bono, but if you know what else, that's when you actually value that pro bono that a lot of our lawyers do. When you see the amount of money that they save us, when these people with their billions of naira take you to court, if we didn't have these lawyers that come and do things pro bono for us, it would be worse than it is right now. But those people are able to come and help out. And when somebody does something for you, you don't pretend like you don't behave like you're not a mature person or that you're not well trained. They do all of these things. You cannot but even if it is paying for their transport money to the venue, there's nothing wrong with that. And then there are other things that have to be done when our comrades are arrested. So please, I want everybody to go search for this GoFundMe. I'm going to paste it here, and I'm also going to put it up in the comment box so you guys can see the link to that GoFundMe page, and please go there and donate. What I'm looking for now, I'm looking for that GoFundMe page. so that I can post it up. The 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 thing about where Victor then were arrested, I'm not able to see the video to play it for now. If I see it later, I can play it. But I think we understand what the whole thing is all about, and what they suffered in the hands of the two tyrants in Kogi State. I think, let me see, this is the one with Victor. No, this is not the one. Okay. So anyway, guys, please, like I said, I'm going to post the GoFundMe page, and I plead with you to go there and contribute money. Let me come back to you guys. Let me come back to you guys before I go to our people that want to donate. Juwon, or okay, let me start with you, Juwon. Tell me a little bit of the kind of needs that our comrades, how our comrades can be helped. Okay, we are not able to be out there with you guys, in the front line and do what you do, for which we are eternally grateful. But how else can people be of support to what goes on in Nigeria? I mean, sometimes people just look at just give money. We're not just asking you for money. So, Juan, what are the ways that needs abound uh, in the activist operations in Nigeria?
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Chidi. Well, as someone who has been arrested several times and has also been in several prisons, I can tell you for free, both Larry and Victor could be passing through. And in fact, Indian prisons are so worse that you pay for everything, including comfort, at least relative comfort. And when I say relative comfort, this is not the kind of comfort you expect in your room. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But at least so that you can at least put your back on the ground, on the bare floor. Because let me share a very brief experience. At for instance, the time I was detained at Ikoyi prison, and I was detained at Ikoyi prison. The moment you arrive at Ikoyi prison, you do not have you do not have the right, for instance, of saying you want to go and ease yourself throughout that day. You don't have the right to go and ease yourself. You don't have the right to stand up. So, and let me tell you, this is how you sit down. I don't know how I can describe it. Someone
you squat.
Someone would sit, yes, you squat. The first person squats and rest his back on the wall. You open your lap. The next person sit down within your lap and rest his back on you. The next person does that, and you have a long queue.
And it can be like 40.
Yes, it will be as long as it could be as long as 50. We are as long as 50%. So when you're then about to sleep, your arrangement is worse than arranging sardines. You have to sleep on just one side so that the first person, faces the wall, flat with the wall, with one side, just with one side of his body. So he sleeps with one side of his body with his stomach and feet directly facing the wall. The next person will then have his head that is directly facing the leg of the first person, and the leg of that person it's like an opposite direction actually, an opposite kind of arrangement. But the second person who is also sleeping with is just a side, and closely attached with the first person who is facing the wall, and you can have that queue as that long. So practically speaking is that you can't shake your body for all through the period you're sleeping. You can't shake, just to shake that, okay, you want just to shake. No, that's exactly how you're going to look like throughout till the next morning when they wake up. And usually in prison they hardly serve you food. When they serve you food, they serve you just once. And in fact, when they serve you the food, you can't even serve your dog that way. Sometimes, let me use beans as an instance. It's always as though maybe consciously after they cook the beans. I don't know. There are some people who think that maybe it's always as though that consciously after they cook the beans, after it is done, they will go and pack stone and sand by themselves and put it inside it. I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. That's exactly how it looks like. And the place that you're going to be served in, you can't even serve it, use such place for the dog that you're about to execute. Not even the dog that you are still friendly with, but the one that you're even about to execute. You can't even use such place. So that's bad. So usually, aside one of the most important things prisoners need when they're in detention, I'll start from the most important is that number one, you know, uh, when you are in detention as activists, you expect that at least something is happening outside. At least there are persons who still check up on you, and if they come, they check up on you, still ask for your well-being, and in that when that is happening, it goes a long way to still keep your mental that okay, indeed, you have not been forgotten. But let me go back into the life in detention. They say whatsoever the price of everything in detention costs 5 times the price, so that when something sells ordinarily outside for 10 naira, expect to purchase it in prison at 15 naira. In fact, the prison is a terrible and moribund backward economy on its own. It has its own economy that does not work by
in
the
Kirikiri, they
law.
call it kwe.
Exactly.
The currency is called kwe. Times five.
You get it. So it's more or less like a different world entirely. So practically speaking, what we've been doing for Larry and Victor is that every week we send them 50,000 naira. They get 50,000 naira to sustain this for upkeep every week. But this is aside this is aside the need to always buy them, get them clothing, get them boxers, and a whole lot of other things they may request for. So, but for their survival on a standard basis, they get 50,000 naira weekly. And meanwhile, it does not get into their hands. There are some, the prison arrangement is quite, I don't want, there's a number of things that really I can't say here, really. You understand? But at least, but I can tell you for free, as someone who had been in prison, that 50,000 cannot even get them through the week.
Can
And
imagine.
they are barely managing. They are barely managing. So that's the situation. But aside the one of the most important support is that aside trying to ensure that at least they are relatively not comfortable in the sense of being comfortable, but at least they are relatively comfortable in the sense of living the life of animals. At least that's the best way I could put it. But even your comfort in detention is as though you are still living the comfort of an relative to an animal confined to a zoo. You
Now,
understand? Probably it could even be worse. But
yeah,
one of the things is that was paramount. Let me round up now. It's also the fact that the continuous campaign out there demanding their release, as we recently did in Abuja. We had the protest in Abuja. Two Kogi two protests in Abuja. Also in Kogi, particularly, there are activists in Kogi who have started discussing and mobilizing towards protest, even in Kogi State, around several issues, the falling state of the falling state of infrastructure, the bad governance in Kogi in relation to what is the arbitrary detention of activists. Such are some of the things that at least as someone with the detention you expect should be going on the outside world, using the words of Kela this time around.
yes. Uh, Thank you so much for letting us into the kind of needs that these comrades are faced with, and how we can assist them. Now, also, Femi, I would like you to just help me remind our comrades of some other people who are in detention, because sometimes their stories are forgotten and people don't even know that they are still languishing in detention, or they are out on bail but their trials are still pending. Are there some people like that?
One of them is sitting in front of you.
But Femi, go ahead. Go ahead.
As a protest, I was arrested October 1st last year. And as a protest, I told the other guys, I said, I'm not going to court again. I won't be at any of these appearances again. I said it. So Nigerians want to make it very clear to you what's happening in Nigeria. The situation is so tense. So tense to the point that aside the Kogi 2, we have Solomon Akuma, who only tweeted against, criticizing Jonathan, yes, group of Jonathan. And he has spent over a year, if I'm right, Joel.
Yeah,
he has spent
absolutely. Yeah, right.
He has been denied bail so many times, and it's disheartening that a promising pharmacist, this guy is a pharmacist, you can Google the name if you've not heard about it before. A promising pharmacist has spent over 1 year of his life in prison. This is someone who would have been a frontliner, especially in this COVID series. I've heard now that they are trying to lock down everywhere again. They are just joking. These guys are joking. So that's that. We have Solomon Akuma. We have Nicholas Mba. Nicholas Mba was arrested during the NSAS protest, and he has been in detention since October. He has been in detention since October. He was detained in Badagry prisons. Yes, Badagry prisons, and he was charged with armed robbery, different, trumped up charges against him. We also have this lady in Ondo State. Do you want please help me with the name?
Particularly, two of them.
Two ladies. Okay, please can you help me with the names? I forgot it now.
I can't remember their name. I can't.
No problem. It's on a per second billing now in Nigeria. We don't know, even me who I'm addressing you today, I may be arrested the next minute. So these are just names that we could just hear because of how popular the agitation have become. The agitations for their release have become. There are so many persons who are in detention. Till today, we are still looking for Dadiata. Forceful disappearance. We have the man who was bailed. We have Stephen Kefferson who was bailed. I learned he's still going to court and all of that. So we have several activists in different places. I've only mentioned those ones whose agitation for their freedom have become popular. There are so many active. And aside the support, the monetary support, we need people to speak. We need people to speak. Go on your social media and make it a point of duty. Make it a point of duty actually to, even if it's just a tweet per day. One thing we do by posting all these things is that person would actually not forget you. That person will never forget if they come out, because when you're detained, the only thing that you have in your head is just what's happening outside there. When I was
her name is Kemisola Oguniyi, 17-year-old girl.
Yes, Kemisola Oguniyi. And she was detained by, I think, on the orders of the Ondo State governor. Yeah. I'm right? Yeah. On the Ondo State governor. So this is just to tell Nigerians also that it has nothing to do with your tribe. It has nothing to do with your religion and all of that. If there is anything Nigeria is not in short supply of, it is that we are not in short supply of bad people, bad leaders, wicked leaders, they cut across our ethnic lines, they cut across our religious lines. They are everywhere. And that is the reason why you would have a Kemisola a young lady detained by an Akeredolu. So this is not Akeredolu is not Fulani. But I don't want to go into that discussion here tonight. But please, we need everybody to be part of the campaign for the release of these Nigerians who are only fed up with the system, and they've expressed their displeasure. They've only disagreed with the system, that we cannot continue on this trajectory of failure, on this trajectory of irresponsibility. I just read now on People's Gazettes that armed robbers invaded Aso Rock. Armed robbers invaded Aso Rock. So if armed robbers could invade Aso Rock, I just read it now. They carted, property of Gambari. Gambari, who is the secretary to the federal government.
It's not true. It's not true. It can't be true. Anytime you hear that kind of news, let me tell you what it means. It means they have stolen the thing, but not them be the hand, not them arrange.
Okay, not them
they steal from themselves now, so that this is excuse. This excuse when you start to look for that property.
Armed robbers have, armed robbers invaded Aso Rock. But sometimes these things may sound like that. They may sound not true. But in a case where you have the first lady saying that there is no Panadol in Aso Rock Clinic, that's another level. So I don't think we can dispute that. These are
no. I'm saying it's, somebody was telling me, somebody said, Chidi, it was two of our friends. I was talking with two of my friends, and then one of them said that the system has failed. He says Nigeria is a failed country. You know what one of my friends told the other? I said, my friend, shut up. What do you mean the system has failed? Does a system fail where there's no system? You can only talk about failure where there's a system. We're telling you there's no system in place. You're talking about failure. How can something that wasn't there fail in the first place? So the case of Nigeria, it's not a country that failed. It's not that there is no country at all. But like you said, let's leave it there for another day. Guys, I really want you, let me go online and show you. This is the page, and Dr. Erica has pasted it on our chat room. If you go to the chat room now, you will see the link. And the good thing about it, like I told you, we've not done badly. We've raised 1,105 Canadian dollars. And let me use this opportunity to clap for everybody who has put in every coin into that thing. Really want to thank you guys for what, and I'm going to go ahead and do.
Thank you so much.
We're going to go ahead and do a roll call of people who have where do you get them? And these are the donors. I'm going to click on donors, and let's go back and start from where does it say? I think there's a place where it says all, and then we can see them. Okay, but let me go back here and start. It says see more, so that we can acknowledge people. Okay, it starts with Erica Wayan donated $100. We'll say thank you. Kola donated $50. And Nahoro Imanatue donated $50. Adeola Makinde $100. Toyin Richardson $50. Florence Akinyele $155. Becky Joseph $100. Thomas Lanian $150. Arthur Williams $50. Stella Lecky Wako $100. Israel Etaki, okay, yeah, our own engineer Israel Etaki Biebu donated $200, and we have a total of I should go back here to show us, and that's what gave us a total of 1,105. Good thing about this is whatever money we raise here on this GoFundMe, GoFundMe will take some amount of money. I don't know what percentage. I think they take like not 5-10%, whatever it is that they take. We're going to hand over the remaining one to we decided to work with the Take It Back movement. So we'll hand it over to the Take It Back movement, and they will be able to reach out to these people appropriately. So I really want to thank everybody who has donated. And please, as you play this video later on, I know a lot of people didn't come to this broadcast because they saw that we are raising money, and I don't blame them. People, it's not, it is well with every one of us, so I understand. But what I'm pleading with you is when you later go and watch this video, that you try to contribute money to what these activists are doing. You know, the good thing about this, the beautiful thing about this is, I remember the meeting we had last week, and at the meeting, we did an impromptu fundraising. And it's funny that even the people who are candidates of this detention, the very people I'm interviewing here today, they were donating. It was funny. Here we are trying to raise money to to support their court cases and all the things and they are there after taking the beating, after going out there, after I see how Juwon described for you the situation in prison, even after everything he went through, he will still dip his hand in his pocket and donate money towards this fund. You know, that really touched me. Femi donated money, Juwon donated money, and a lot of people donated money. And these are the ones you don't see it on GoFundMe. There's a lot that happens in the background that if you knew, if only you knew, you will step up more than people actually step up to perform when it comes to giving. You know, nobody's taking your money and going to buy kuli kuli and granuts. No, it is because of the work that they do. So please, I want you guys, and you guys know now, you know how we do it. I can count on you. Please, everybody, go out there and donate to these funds so that these guys won't feel like, what is the need? What is the need? We all get discouraged. Even me, I get discouraged sometimes. When I'm fighting, I'm online doing, somebody is there who I know is a paid internet dog. Is out there attacking me, calling me names, insulting me. Sometimes you're like, why should I even bother? What do I have to lose? I don't have to lose anything. Honestly, why? What? I'm in Canada now. Why do I have to be breaking my head?
You have a plan. You are in plan B already.
I'm telling you, I'm already like, we don't go. You know
Our
when
plan B is called the revolution.
when when Davido sings song, he said, "Obo don't go." I don't go. I don't waka sing. So waiting. What's my own? I'm not bothering about light. I'm not bothering about water. I'm not bothering about healthcare. Do you know they have to call me? They have to call me to say, Chidi, we are going to, how do they say it? They say, Chidi, if you don't come in so that doctor will inspect you from head to toe, they say they will, what's the punishment? It's like a funny punishment, like they will make sure that something very funny, you know, like a child, when you tell a child, if you don't eat this, food, we will make sure that we fill the fridge in your room with all kinds of food and you must finish it. You know, that's the kind of punishment I get here. So why should I bother? I don't come about healthcare. I have to go in and they will, I'm not even sick. And they're calling me to come in so that they will check me and know what is wrong with me. Imagine, or my school, they are begging me to bring my child. Come on, man. We get discouraged when it looks like our effort is not being appreciated. Not to talk of people who are there. They face tear gas. They face live bullets. They face beat. People don't understand. You know, I didn't ask you about when you were at Lekki toll gate thing with macaroni, and they dealt with two people. I mean, this is real. This is reality. Flogging you with koboko, spraying pepper spray in your eye, facing tear gas, sleeping in the cell, nowhere to pee. There are some stories that are unprintable. Don't forget, we can't talk about it so that our enemies will not go and be rejoicing. But there are conditions that people have subjected themselves to because of this struggle. In other places, it's even worse. People are killed. People are killed every day because of this struggle. So I need us to get serious here. People will still tell you that Chidi ate the money. Who cares? Let them talk. If we do, they go talk. If we don't do, they go talk. So make we do, make them talk. No problem. Please let's give and let's make sure that we support these people. Guys, let's just. I wanted to use 1 minute and talk to our people as we round up the show.
Okay. It's just to reiterate everything we've been saying, which is that it is time for every Nigerian. We are at that critical period. And that period is a period to choose where to belong in history. Is it to be in the side of the oppressor who would go down, into the trash bin of history very soon, or to be in the side of those who are fighting for liberation? And it is going to be very noble. It's very noble. I can tell you, ever since we've started this whole fight, ever since we're educating Nigerians and all that, you see, as an activist, you can never. It may look very tough because it's very tough actually, and we should not claim any easy victory like Mamika Cabral has taught us. But you can never be stranded. You can never be stranded as an activist. That's what I would say. And please keep donating towards the cause to support civil rights activists in Nigeria. Thank you.
All right. Comrade Juwan, let me bring you in so that you can talk to our people. Hold on 1 second. Okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Conclusively, I think I would like to borrow some of the long epistles written by Bobby Wine some 2 days ago, where he likened our revolution to football and boxing matches respectively. He said in these matches, there are 3 categories of people. There is the referee, there is there are the spectators, and there are the players. That is the referees, or let me say the spectators are persons who witness the oppression and are confronted with it on daily basis. They talk about it, but that is where it ends. They talk about it, they watch how activists, how revolutionaries are who are on the trenches. They watch how they are brutalized, how they are incarcerated, how they are tortured, how they are killed. They talk about them, and that's all they've got to do. We also have this other category, the referees. These ones are of course, we know the rules of referees. They are the one who will tell you that, you see, you should have done this way. Oh, no, 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 no. It is Dr. Chidi that earned the money for GoFundMe. Oh, no, no. You shouldn't have done this GoFundMe. You should have actually done it this way. They are the referees who drive vehicles and never using the pigeon. They never jam. They know they jam. Now then go drive motor, we know they jam. They drive the vehicles with their mouths. So, but there is this other category that Bobby Wine described as the players. These are the persons who have advanced beyond just observing and tolerating oppression, but they decided to confront it even in the face of tyranny, death, and destruction. So there comes a time in history where we all have to decide what role history will remember us by. Are we going to be remembered as a spectator, a referee, or a player? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Comrade Juwan. Please, just before I go, there's something I forgot to do earlier. Is there because somebody is asking me that if they're in Nigeria and they want to donate, where they can, is there any account they can donate directly? Can you give me an account number where people can donate directly?
Okay, yes, there is a Take It Back movement account number.
Okay.
Do I have to send it, drop it at the chat section? I'll send it to you later on.
No, I want people to see it before. Are you able to communicate with me by WhatsApp now, or if you're able to drop
Okay,
it?
let me.
Yeah, if you're able to drop it to me on WhatsApp now, I'll be able to put it out there so people can see it. Or if you have access to the chat room, whichever one.
Okay, I think I'm doing Zoom with my phone.
Okay, no
So,
problem.
I'll send it.
yeah.
I'll send it now.
Okay, good, 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 good.
Okay.
If Femi sends it,
Send.
okay, send
WhatsApp.
on WhatsApp. Okay, let me check WhatsApp. Okay, okay, I see a UBA account number.
Yes, that's it.
Okay,
That's the account.
okay.
That's the account.
So this UBA, let me send it to Dr. Erica, and maybe she will put it up there so people can see, because I know it's not easy for some people to do GoFundMe. So please, if you're able to donate directly into this account, I'm hoping it will be put up, and then let me also try to do it. But if we're able to put it up, guys, please, you can go there and donate directly into this UBA account. But let me call it out as we're trying to put it there. It's 210-919-3911, and this is UBA account. Take It Back movement. You guys know the story of Take It Back is not something we can talk about here. Take It Back is the engine house of most of the things that you see happening, with people who have sustained. There was a time when nobody could demonstrate anymore. Demonstration was like they had conquered people. Nobody could come out, nobody could challenge the system, and then there was a Moyele Shore, and then there was revolution now. It was like that stopped everything. And so that is still the engine house that is powering most of these things. And that's where I want you guys to go to. I'm going to take one second. I will because I don't want us to miss this. I don't want us to go out of here and people saying, "Oh, I didn't receive that number." So let me do this quickly. I hope I hope it's gonna work. And meanwhile, Aero Princess, you wanted to place a call. I'm sure we can still do that. Aero Princess, if you can call now, I will take your call as we round up. We're almost done. Okay, I put the number there in the chat room, so you guys can check out the number there. But Aero Princess, if you're still on, you wanted to call, you can call. The number is +1 647 989 2837. I will take your call quickly and we will round up. I didn't know when we are at 1 hour 49 minutes, just only us talking. I couldn't even believe it. I'm telling you. And we didn't even cover anything now. We didn't even scratch the surface. I'm telling you. So I also put the number out there. So Aero Princess, if you want to call, you can call now, and I'll take your call if you are able, or maybe you've left the conversation. But if you're still there, that's my number there. You can call. Direct line is better, but even if you call through WhatsApp, I will still take your call. Okay. Down the road, there's going to be other forms through which people can donate. I'm sure they're working on it. I'm sure there will be Zella, there will be all those other ones. But Juwan, are those ones set up right now?
Which one? I didn't get that. I didn't get
Are there other forms of donating that have been set up already, or is it just this one now?
Yeah, no, aside, we don't really have we're not doing general fundraising about for anyone who intends donating, they can donate into the Nigerian account, or we also have a Zelle. We have a Zelle and I think it's other PayPal accounts.
Okay, what I
And
will
it is
do, what I will do, so that we'll just wrap up the program. I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, Aero Princess is sending me a message. It says, take it back. There's a revolution now. Aero Princess, we're waiting for you to make the call. You said you wanted to call. So if you're hearing me now, I know it takes time before you guys hear. Some people are on a delay, 10, 20 minutes delay. But if you hear me now, you can make your call now. You said you wanted to make a call, or maybe you wanted to call me later on after the show, whichever one it is. So, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these numbers, all these account numbers. Thank God there's Zelle, so people in US can also contribute if they feel like. So I will post that on our channel, post it on Facebook too, so that, and mind you, they are not embarking on a fundraising mission. It's just me trying to do this while they are. I just can't take it anymore. I know they want to be very, very cautious. They want to be politically correct. Yes, so, but I mean, people are suffering now, guys. I mean, we have to keep doing what we're doing. The people who are uh, 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 professional propagandists and liars who lie against people and blackmail them. Let them continue doing what they're doing. It will not deter us. We too will keep doing what we're doing. And on that note, I want to thank two of our guests. Okay, somebody's calling. Let me know if it's the person. Is this Aero Princess?
Yes, Doctor. Hello, Dr. Chi.
Okay, Aero Princess. Thank God you finally called in.
Permit me to call you Chidi today, only for today.
But that's what I am now. I beg.
I want to thank you for all you are doing, and also want to thank Comrade Juwon and Comrade Femi. I'm a real princess, a take it backer, and bona fide AAC member based in the Germany. So I appreciate you all for all you're doing. I see everything you do. That's all I want to say, Doctor. And I know I have not contributed to the GoFundMe account at that. My contribution is on the way. I'll do it very soon.
Thank you so much, guys. That you've heard it from Aero Princess.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay.
And I also thank Dr. Erica. I know she's the engine power behind this broadcast. I notice her. I recognize her.
Thank you for recognizing her. That means you really care about my dinner and other things. That's a very wise thing you're doing there. you don't know the power. Yes, double portion of me. You don't know the power of this thing you're doing now. You're a very wise woman. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I appreciate you, sir.
God bless you. God bless you. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah. Okay, guys, so that's just to encourage you, let you know this is a call all the way from Berlin, and they see what you do, and they recognize it and they appreciate it. And let me continue to appreciate you guys. I know you very well. We've been through so much together. You've been through so much on our behalf. We can't thank you enough. We don't want you to be discouraged. Keep doing what you're doing. And like Adea said, you can never get stuck as an activist. There will always be someone out there looking out for you, even when it seems like everybody has abandoned you. They will never abandon you. Even God Himself cannot abandon you. Abandon you. God cannot abandon you at all. If God did not abandon Jesus Christ Himself, who is the number one activist that we know, how can God abandon you yourself? All right. Thank you, guys. I'm going to let you go now.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you so much, Dr. Chidi.
Okay. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Revolution now.
Now, yes, revolution now. Revolution
now.
Revolution
now.
Luta.
Continua.
Victoria.
Asata.
Yes, so all right. Talk to you guys later. Okay. Yes, these are people who do all of these things they do. Even something that a lot of you don't even realize is just for them to be present in this meeting. If only you know how much it costs for someone to be on good, we're talking about good data, not just anyhow data. For them to be on a good data and last 1 hour, almost 2 hours on this Zoom meeting, it costs them a lot. And then they have to be on Twitter, they have to be on Facebook, they have to be on Instagram, everywhere challenging the government. Everywhere there's a post, they have to go there and exchange banter with people who are on the side of the government. It is not an easy thing. And so we appreciate them. And I appreciate you for all your support, for standing by us, even when people don't think we're doing enough. You continue to stand by us. I want to thank you. I want to appreciate you on behalf of Dr. Erica and every person who works on our crew. We want to say we love you and we want you to stay safe and take care of yourself. Bye bye.